Many months ago, when I was a nursing student, a man in his 40s was lying on his deathbed from terminal cancer. His sobbing wife lying in bed next to him. He looked at his wife, using the last bit of energy he had to gently wipe away her tears and stroke her cheek. He took off his oxygen mask and said, "Don't worry, love. Don't be afraid, it's just death," and passed away shortly after. I started my nursing career out in a palliative unit. In my first 3 months as a registered nurse, I pronounced over 7 deaths. This one patient had advanced dementia and often believed he was at work while he was actually awake in the hospital. He would often give us, the nurses and care aides, tasks and jobs to do, as he believed himself to be our superior. One day, near the end of December, he asks me, "Excuse me, lady, when is New Year's? What day is it this year?" I tell him that New Year's will be the upcoming Tuesday. He nods and tells me that he thinks he's going to have to quit after the new year. This job is getting too difficult for him and he can't keep up. It's time for him to retire. And then I tell him that we appreciate all the hard work that he's done and we'll miss him terrible when he's gone. That he was a great employee and we all loved working with him. That Tuesday, January the 1st, he passed away peacefully in his sleep at 2 in the morning. I will never forget that conversation. "I didn't mean to!" We were sending this middle-aged guy home after his emergency room visit. As soon as we moved him off the bed, he went unresponsive and had no heartbeat. We did a couple rounds of cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and he began to come back. He began to come to. He blinked a couple of times, and the doctor running the code jokingly said, "Oh my God, sir, you almost died on us." And then the man said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to," in a rather sad way. His heart then stopped again, and we couldn't get him back. Former certified nurse aide in the dementia unit of an assisted living facility. "My dad is on his way to pick me up now," she said every time I checked on her until she died about a week after it started. While she was still mobile, she would tidy her room and sit on the edge of her bed and just wait most of the day. I look after a guy with end-stage heart failure. He kept having episodes where if he coughed or leaned forward, anything to increase his intrathoracic pressure, he would pass out. He would come back after a few minutes and gradually go from purple back to pink. Oh my God. How long was I How long was I out for that time? Please tell me. He was fully mentally fine, sharp, witty, and at peace with what was going to happen eventually to him. He knew he was going to die. He and I were joking that one of these episodes were going to kill him. As he sipped his tea and we talked about rubbish, 5 minutes later it happened again and he didn't come back. He had a "do not resuscitate" order, which was sensible. Very eerie to talk to somebody so vibrant and alert minutes before he died. Such a nice dude. I want to be in that mindset when I go too. Physical therapist here. I treated a man in his 90s who was a "do not resuscitate" and "do not intubate" kind of person. At least once a week when I would go to his room to start our sessions, he would cry and say, "I didn't want to kill the kids." After speaking to his nurse, it was revealed that he had killed children in World War II. He collapsed during a session and said, "Oh, the kids are here to get me." And he died a few minutes later. I'm a nursing student in Canada, and on my palliative rotation, I had a patient that was getting medically assisted dying the next day. He was an elderly cancer patient. He told me he was a self-ordained minister, nothing official, but an at-home type of preacher, and that I could confess to him anything I wanted. I humored him and I whispered to him some of my biggest secrets. I figured, who cares, he's going to die tomorrow anyway? He told me it was alright, and I could tell he appreciated that I confided in him. He also told me his email address and said that while he would not be sending emails in return, he would be receiving them. He was a cool guy. I had a lady tell me in her confused state that her husband disappeared after years of domestic violence. I didn't quite understand what she meant by that. I expressed my condolences and I asked where she thought he went. All she said was, underground. I didn't ask any more questions right after that. I did never see her again. Apparently, she passed away shortly after.